More information has just came out about the Huawei versus Google situation. And if you want to know more and you're interested in this and you don't know what's going on, I'm i7 Tech and this is Tech Weekly. So by now you have the gist of what's going on in terms of Huawei and the US. The US signing an executive order saying that, all US companies must stop working with Huawei, which is a Chinese company, because they're in trade wars, right? Now, the update is that, as soon after Trump signed and put out the news of this, putting Huawei in the blacklist of companies not to be worked with, you know, not so long after, the US came out and said, hey, we're giving you 90 days, so brace yourself. Now, after those 90 days, what's going to happen? Is it going to be a situation where Huawei loses all access to the Google services and most US companies stop working with Huawei, like Qualcomm, you know, and a lot of other companies that, supply Huawei with either hardware or software or whatever the case may be. It's really hard, man. It's really hard for, Huawei to be going through this. But I do understand where the US is coming from. Now, if you read a lot about, the tech news and you know a lot about the tech news, you know that in China, no US companies are allowed to, you know, to do business there. To yeah, allowed to do business there. Allowed to do business there, like um like Google doesn't have a footprint in China. Like you can't close off your market to other, you know, to other worlds, but you want your market. Yeah, you can't close your market from other worlds, but you want your markets to be in the whole world. That doesn't make sense. Like you keeping 100% of the profit and you're not, losing any profit. So now I think I see where Trump is going with this, but I feel like the rest of the world is gonna lose more because now we are the ones suffering for something that does not involve us. But you know how the world works. If one or two countries, you know, go into trade war and you've got strategic plans and collaborations with those countries, then it severely affects, you know, that collaboration because Huawei needs products from Chinese manufacturers and Chinese manufacturers. Huawei needs products from US manufacturers and US manufacturers need Chinese business to stay afloat because Huawei is probably the biggest growing company in the world right now. It's number two at the moment. It's creeping up on that number one spot from Samsung because Apple is not a great smartphone. But anyway, that's a story for another day. So now you get this, and for a lot of people, they know that Apple. For a lot of people, they know that Apple is a Chinese manufactured product, although the company is US created and US owned, but most of the parts they get for the actual smartphone comes from China. So how would that impact them in the long term? You see, the users are the ones that suffer in all of this. Hands down, no other person suffers more than people who are, at the bottom of the barrel, who cannot afford to pay huge amounts of shipping to ship a phone. But who would want a smartphone with no Play Store? Like, that's crazy. In terms of the US, in terms of Europe and Africa, we rely heavily on Google services to go about our day. I've tried WeChat for some time, but it's not that great at the time. I don't know now. Maybe a couple of updates years later, it could be great, but not at the moment. Anyway, when you start to think about this, it's crazy how the level of thinking some of these countries get up to. And it remains to be seen how far this will go. I know the US wants China to release some sanctions in their country so that US companies can also trade there as equal. If you don't have competition, you should most likely not to go. But in this case, Huawei has grown because they take data from different other countries and say, okay, this works, this doesn't work, rather than taking just the data in China. And saying, okay, this is what works in China, and this is what works in the US, this is what works in Africa, and we implement that. Now, if you just taking data from your own country and your own thing, innovation is not really going to be there that much. Anyway, this has been a video on the update. I didn't want to make it too long because there's a lot of information still yet to come out, and the cookie is still yet to crumble a lot more. And once we get more updates for you guys, I'll put it in my article in my website, so check out the description below for the article and full gist of what I've just said right now. Anyway, this is Nice. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and press that bell so you can stay notified of my videos. This is Edson Check, and I'll see you guys in the next video.